So speak to this. The Iran's president, arriving in Moscow the other day to meet with Putin, after Putin just got back from Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. Kind of the Gog Magog, all the Gog Magog players of Ezekiel 38:39.
I was just about to say that. You took it out of my mouth, the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say that I think this is, again, the further evidence of that Gog Magog coalition coming together, particularly with Russia and Iran. So Raisi, the Iranian president Raisi is in Russia meeting with Putin and the Russian leadership. They're very overt. Part of it is that their overtness concerns me because of the fact that this is out in the open, right? I mean, just as we know that Iran supported and funded the October 7th attacks in Israel, we knew that, on night one, but what happens to them when you have America as absolutely pitiful as we are in our national security and in our defense? I was just covering tonight on my show, Brannon, that the Justice Department is more focused on announcing that their task force for reproductive rights, i.e. abortion, the Justice Department is more worried about going after pro-life Christians and pro-life advocates than they are actually fighting jihadism and terrorism in this nation, i.e. the Muslim Brotherhood. I don't know if you and Osama covered the headline that of Nihad Awad. Did you guys cover that?
Yeah, we just played the audio clip of him saying that Israel has no right to defend itself. The leader of CAIR.
More importantly, it's not just Israel. You and I have been saying this. They're saying that because they're occupiers, anybody who is Jewish and anybody that is a Zionist. So again, if you support Israel and you're not Jewish, so this is opening the floodgates to be able to say attacking Jews and attacking quote unquote Zionists is absolutely permissible, because the moment you have now declared, and the head of and CAIR's representative, this wasn't just Nihad Awad, they have several of the representatives across the country making speeches now declaring what the UN declared, that Israel does not have a right of self-defense. They're occupiers, so anybody that supports them, i.e. America, you're occupiers, we can attack you.
And we played an imam from Delaware stating that the land is stolen, America's land is stolen, and we need to do whatever gets us to paradise, which we know is jihad. Let me ask you a question I was thinking about, and I talked to Annie about it. I forgot to ask you, Sama, but I'll ask you. I was thinking tonight about the fact that we have 10 to 12,000 people a day now pouring over the border. They're coming from all over the place. There's a lot of Islamic nations, but a lot of them are coming from nations where the people are Catholic, Hispanics, Central America, South America, where these people, a lot of them, I don't know what percentage, but a percentage of them are probably Catholic. Would you agree with that?
A percentage, I think, yes, that would be true.
Okay.
Yes.
So here's my concern. What happens when you bring more people into the U.S. who are considered, quote, Christians by the view of Islam? And so now you've filled up the country with more people that are Christians or Catholics, Protestants and Catholics. You filled them up the country up with more, and then you bring in more illegal aliens that are jihadis. Aren't you just asking for trouble? For in other words, a massive religious war to break out?
That's a very good point. I hadn't thought about that aspect of it, that if you're allowing those to come in who are, quote unquote, representing Christianity, which of course we know that most Catholics do not, but the fact that that's the view, right, is that when Muslims look at America or they look at Christianity, they see Catholicism, they see much of Catholicism. Most Muslims do not truly understand evangelicalism. They don't understand a biblical view.
They see us all as the same.
They see us all as the same. And so when they see that, that then gives fodder to the fact that this is a corrupt country, that this jahiliyyah is the term they use for unbelievers. They're corrupt. These Christians are corrupted. The Catholics are corrupted. They have all corrupted the word of God that they claim, they're the final messengers of. And so, yes, it makes it a more tempting target, right? Because to bring down that corrupt nation, to bring down what they believe to be the polytheists, right? Because they believe we worship three gods. That would certainly be an interesting aspect of that. The people behind the scenes are setting up that type of holy war, or at least justification. Just like they have justification to attack Israel and the Jews, now they would have justification to attack America because it's a Christian nation, supposedly, and look how corrupt the Christians are. Because, of course, most Catholics we know do not espouse to anything that is biblical in regards to, the gospel and what salvation is.
Certainly Pope Francis doesn't.
Certainly the Marxist Pope does not. Exactly.
The Jesuit right. Marxist Pope. Here is here is Putin now welcoming. Here he is welcoming
Raisi.
Yeah, right there.
Raisi.
Boom.
Yep.
I mean, again, all of this is happening right after October 7th, when we know Iran has played some role and knew this was all going to happen. I don't care what they say. There seems to be overwhelming evidence. But we not only have that going on. Now let's take a look at this. This is reportedly the. You tell me if you agree with this. This gentleman says that the figure whom Putin salutes first, a slightly bent over man wearing a golden clothes, is the king of Saudi Arabia, Salam bin, however you say his name, born in 1935. He's semi-retired, but the fact he comes out to greet Putin is a big deal, this guy is saying on social media. I have not verified that that's who the older gentleman is. I have no reason to doubt it. But again, here he is. Putin has been working with the folks in Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. Again, I think strengthening BRICS and dumping the U.S. dollar as the world reserve petrodollar. But there you go. What do you make of this?
I agree with you 100% that this is all staging for the fact that the Saudis are. This is what troubled me for so long, is because so many will continue to claim that Saudi is our ally, but the Saudis are not our allies. And I think you're absolutely right that they're revering Putin because things are shifting on the world stage. The IMF is going to move from to dumping the dollar. We already see India. We already see, of course, Russia. We see Brazil. We see part of the BRICS nations all moving towards accepting. The Saudis are accepting rupees from the Indians. They're accepting rubles from the Russians. And remember, all of their currency is gold backed, while we have this fiat currency and preparing to go to our CBDC, which we already have the Fed now in existence. So the gesturing that is there, the Saudis have completely dissed the United States because of the current administration, because they know the United States is going downhill fast. They're moving away. The dollar will soon be dumped. It's just a matter of when that they will dump it as the reserve currency. And the Saudis are hedging their bets. They know, because this is still Islam, right? Let's not forget, though the Saudis and the Iranians fight, they're still representing Islam. We know that allegiance is going to be there with Russia as part of that Gog Magog to come against Israel. So I think, again, everything is lining up in that sense. It's very disconcerting for America, though.